There is a plant growing outside your house right now, a plant with thick red stems crawling through the cracks in concrete that contains more omega-3 fatty acids than salmon, not per pound, per leaf. And almost nobody knows its name. And in 2022, scientists at Yale University discovered something inside this humble little weed that should not exist in nature. This plant likely began its journey in the dry regions of India and the Middle East. But it did not stay there for long. Archaeologists discovered seeds stored in clay vessels in northern Greece dating back to 1050 BC. By the 4th century BC, the philosopher Theophrastus was already teaching Greek farmers how to cultivate it as an essential crop. Not a weed, an essential crop. Across the Atlantic Ocean, archaeologists found seeds in Kentucky dating back to 800 BC, centuries before Christopher Columbus arrived in the Americas. Seeds discovered in Ontario date to 1350 AD. Long before European settlers arrived, indigenous Americans were already cultivating purslane alongside squash and sunflowers in what historians now call the Eastern Agricultural Complex. This is purslane, Portulaca oleracea, the plant that solved a problem scientists did not even know existed, and the one we were taught to destroy. As purslane spread across the world, every culture gave it a different name. In India, Ayurvedic medicine called it loni, or kulfa. In China, it became ma chi xian, the vegetable for long life. In Mexico, people cooked verdolagas with garlic and chili. In Greece, glista became part of the famous Cretan diet, linked to extraordinary heart health. Across the Middle East, coffee appeared in salads and stews for its refreshing, lemony crunch. One plant, dozens of names, thousands of years of human trust. Ancient medical systems did not see purslane as a nuisance. They saw it as a universal remedy. Traditional Chinese medicine prescribed it for infections, inflammation, and skin disease. Ayurvedic healers used it as a cooling herb to calm the body and treat liver, lung, and kidney disorders. Greek and Roman physicians described it as a powerful anti-inflammatory medicine. The Persian scholar Avicenna included it in the Canon of Medicine, one of the most influential medical texts in history. Even different parts of the plant served different purposes. The roots were used against severe bacterial infections. The leaves became nutritional powerhouses, packed with omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins A, C, and E, magnesium, potassium, and antioxidants. And the seeds? The seeds may be the most astonishing part of all. A single purslane plant can produce up to 200,000 seeds, each one capable of surviving in soil for decades. A permanent medicine cabinet hidden beneath the earth. Its secret lies in a specialized survival mechanism called CAM photosynthesis. At night, while other plants rest, purslane opens its pores and traps carbon dioxide in the cool darkness, conserving precious water for the brutal heat of the next day. That adaptation allowed it to thrive where other crops failed. But it also created something unexpected: flavor. When harvested in the early morning, purslane contains dramatically higher levels of malic acid, the same natural acid found in green apples. That means the plant tastes brighter, sharper, and more lemony before sunrise than it does later in the afternoon. For thousands of years, people believed purslane was medicine. Ancient healers prescribed it. Farmers cultivated it. Civilizations trusted it. But modern science dismissed those traditions as folklore until researchers started analyzing the plant itself, and what they discovered was shocking. Because purslane is not just a plant, it is a biochemical factory. Most plants are forced to choose between growth and survival. Corn grows quickly, but needs water. Cacti survive drought, but grow painfully slowly. Scientists believed these were separate evolutionary strategies. Then they studied purslane and found something no one expected. Purslane runs two completely different photosynthesis systems simultaneously. inside the same cells. During the day, it uses the C4 pathway for rapid growth. At night, it switches into drought conservation mode using CAM metabolism, trapping moisture while conserving water. It behaves like two different plants at once, a biological hybrid, a superplant. This adaptation allows purslane to survive on 1/5 of the water required by crops like corn. It thrives in salty soil, extreme heat, harsh drought, and even under stress, it continues producing an extraordinary library of chemical compounds. Compound scientists now believe may have enormous pharmaceutical potential. Purslane contains more omega-3 fatty acids than any other leafy vegetable ever tested. But the real shock came when researchers discovered something almost unheard of in land plants: EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, a marine omega-3 usually associated with fish and algae. Purslane produces it naturally. Not much, but enough to stun researchers because terrestrial plants are not supposed to do this. Fresh purslane contains dramatically higher levels of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, than spinach, mustard greens, or lettuce. And unlike the inflammatory fat imbalance dominating modern diets, purslane naturally maintains a healthy omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. Modern industrial diets often reach ratios as extreme as 1 to 15. Purslane averages closer to 3 to 1. That difference matters because inflammation is now linked to heart disease, diabetes, neurodegeneration, and accelerated aging itself. But omega-3s are only the beginning. Inside purslane, scientists discovered an enormous chemical arsenal: flavonoids like quercetin and kaempferol, powerful antioxidants linked to vascular protection, terpenoids associated with liver protection and anti-tumor activity, alkaloids capable of influencing neurological signaling, and polysaccharides with potential immune-regulating properties. And one compound stood out above all the others: melatonin. Purslane contains astonishingly high levels of melatonin, in some analyses 10 to 20 times more than almost any other tested fruit or vegetable. Melatonin is not just a sleep hormone, it is one of the body's most important antioxidants. It protects cells from oxidative damage, supports circadian rhythm, and helps regulate inflammation. For decades, researchers were baffled by the extraordinary cardiovascular health of the people of Crete. They consumed high-fat diets, yet experienced remarkably low rates of heart disease. Initially, scientists credited olive oil alone, but later investigations revealed another missing piece: purslane. The plant appeared constantly in traditional Cretan meals. In clinical studies, Mediterranean diets rich in omega-3 sources reduced mortality dramatically among heart attack survivors. Not just fewer heart attacks, fewer deaths overall. Early studies showed aqueous extracts significantly reduced blood glucose levels and improved insulin activity. Purslane appeared to protect blood vessels themselves. It reduced inflammatory markers associated with endothelial damage, the silent destruction inside arteries that drives diabetic complications. Purslane is not fragile. Every part of its anatomy is engineered for survival. Its stems are thick, fleshy, and filled with water reserves. Break them apart, and the fragments can grow into entirely new plants. Its leaves are succulent, specialized biological storage tanks designed to preserve moisture during brutal heat. Even its flowers follow a survival schedule. They only open during the hottest, brightest hours of the day, maximizing pollination while conserving energy. And underground, the roots spread like a hidden network, a massive system capable of absorbing nutrients and water from harsh, competitive soil environments where weaker plants collapse. And then there are the seeds. One single purslane plant can produce over 200,000 seeds, each tiny enough to disappear into dust, each capable of surviving underground for decades. Scientists discovered purslane seeds can remain viable in soil for up to 40 years. Entire generations can pass, while the plant waits silently beneath the surface. And when conditions become favorable, it returns. The global herbicide industry is worth tens of billions of dollars, and Purslane sits directly in its crosshairs. Chemical formulations are specifically designed to eliminate it from lawns, gardens, sidewalks, and agricultural fields. Because modern industrial systems depend on predictability, uniform crops, controlled growth, standardized fields, Purslane refuses all of it. It grows where it should not grow, survives where nothing else survives, and reproduces without permission. But now, climate change is rewriting agriculture itself. Scientists predict that staple crops like corn may experience major declines as global temperatures rise, heat waves intensify, water shortages spread, and soil salinity increases. A single plant can produce over 200,000 seeds, and those seeds can remain viable underground for decades. Even broken stem fragments can reroot themselves in days. It behaves less like a fragile vegetable, and more like a biological survival machine. For decades, humanity looked down at Purslane and saw a weed, an inconvenience, a pest, something to poison. But hidden inside this stubborn little plant may be one of the greatest survival blueprints nature ever created. You cannot patent it. You cannot stop it spreading. You cannot easily destroy it. Purslane is what ethnobotanists sometimes call a good weed. Not because it stays out of the way, but because it actually helps the ecosystem around it. Its deep taproot pulls moisture and minerals upward from deep underground, making them more available to nearby plants like tomatoes and corn. In a strange way, Purslane acts almost like a living underground pump, a botanical ally hidden in plain sight. But before you ever think about eating wild plants, caution matters. Plants growing near roadsides, industrial zones, or chemically treated lawns may absorb contaminants. Correct identification is essential, and when harvested from clean, healthy environments, Purslane becomes one of the most nutrient-dense wild foods on Earth. It contains exceptionally high omega-3 levels, powerful antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin C, magnesium, melatonin, glutathione, and even trace EPA, a marine omega-3 rarely found in land plants. This tiny weed outperforms many supermarket vegetables. Like spinach, Purslane also contains oxalates. For some people, excessive oxalate intake may contribute to kidney stones. Traditional cultures often solved this naturally by pairing Purslane with yogurt or calcium-rich foods, which helps reduce oxalate absorption. Sometimes ancient food traditions existed for biochemical reasons people did not fully understand yet. Maybe the strangest part of this story is where it ends. Not in a laboratory, not inside a billion-dollar pharmaceutical company, not hidden deep in a rainforest no human has ever touched, but here, growing quietly in the cracks of a driveway, ignored, sprayed with poison, stepped on every day. A plant humanity spent centuries trying to erase may turn out to be one of nature's greatest engineering achievements.